Final salvo. Do you know any good editing software? I'm going to major in graphical design and need some place to start. If you're majoring in graphic design, then you can't go wrong with Photoshop and Illustrator for starters. If you're talking about video editing software, I use Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro. Final Cut Pro 7 is good if you're a Mac guy, but I don't like Final Cut X though. I'm a Pro 7 guy. If you're talking about video graphics, then Adobe After Effects is a good first stop, and then you can kind of push it towards Cinema 4D and Nuke, but those are really advanced. Start with After Effects. Weston Thug. Will you have different quality settings for your Twitch stream in the future? Sometimes when I watch, it lags because there's no quality settings. I will not have a quality option on my stream unless I'm a Twitch partner. And that's not going to happen until I get around 100 people watching my streams every time I stream, and that's not going to happen for probably a while. At least not until I start streaming Destiny. For the record, you can try to right-click the stream and select a quality option that way through Flash. And I've also made some tweaks to my stream, so it should be easier to watch and there shouldn't be as much lag. Crazy Penguin. Hey, buddy. What are your hopes and goals moving forward, either on YouTube or in general? I would love to continue doing YouTube and possibly move into doing it full time. It's something I have a lot of fun with, and a lot of people seem to enjoy it. My videos, that is. If I end up, being able to do it full time, then I'll just have to see where life takes me with it. If I don't, then I'll just continue on the path that I'm doing right now, which is, being an assistant editor and working my way towards being an editor. That's probably one of the only nice things about working in television. I can just hop back into work whenever I want, as long as I practice my skills. I feel like it's different for people in other fields of work. An accountant isn't really hopping from company to company. I could be wrong, though. I know that another possible path is becoming a community manager, and obviously being one at Bungie is on my radar, but if that were to happen, it probably wouldn't be for a few years down the road, and the odds of it happening are probably really small anyway. Wintonk7. Why do you think you are not as popular as the other Destiny YouTube channels? Are you excited to be mentioned in the Bungie weekly update twice? I don't think I'm as popular because I started quite some time after the other two big guys, Destiny updates and more console, and I just don't appear in the search rankings. Go ahead, search Destiny on YouTube and try to find me. Those are the real reasons. That's the big reason. It's much easier for the other guys to actually be found because they appear on the first page of every Destiny-related search, whereas I only appear in really, really specific searches. And yes, having two of my videos in the weekly update is totally awesome, and I hope I'm there many more times. Sean Adams asks, given how tight-knit Destiny's community of content creators are, how do you feel about bigger YouTube personalities jumping on the hype train this late in the game? I know some of these people have turned into promotional mouthpieces for Activision, fueled by the almighty dollar and not for the love of the game. Most of you guys have been there from the start, and I could see these vultures swooping into your guys' territory, not going over so well. What are your thoughts? I'm definitely worried about it. The other guys might not be as worried about it because they are pretty big, and, like I said in the last question, if you search for Destiny, you're going to find those guys. Me, you're not going to find so often. I'm definitely worried about those already established with a fan-based people in the form of me being unable to grow. Don't get me wrong, it's still very much a love the game situation for me, but no one wants to sit at a low subscriber count forever. I'd definitely like to get to the point where I'd like to do YouTube full time, as volatile as the job might be, and trying to compete with the current Destiny competition is tough enough as is, because they are light years ahead of me. My videos don't appear on the search results. Then I need to worry about the guy who has 500,000 subscribers starting to do Destiny videos. And then another guy, and then another guy. I'm still pretty much a nobody in the grand scheme of things. At my current growth rate, I will not become profitable, meaning I won't be able to survive on YouTube as a job alone for at least a couple of years. And that's if things stay the way they are and don't go down. I've done work and YouTube at the same time before, and it's incredibly exhausting, and definitely took part in me stopping my YouTube content in the past when I did Call of Duty. You know, I didn't have the hours to do everything that I wanted to do, and a job pays more. So it's definitely worrying. There's always potential for collaboration with these bigger guys, but the worries definitely outweigh the potential positives for sure. Patrick McDonough. Do you need original music for your videos? Because I'd be more than happy to let you use some of my recordings. I'm always looking for music for my videos, but I must warn that I'm super picky in what music that I like to use in the background. Adam 10 Bruggenkate asks, what's your Halo overall KD? As I said earlier, I haven't played Halo, but I've played Call of Duty and Titanfall, and both of my Call of Duty and Titanfall kill-death ratios both float around the 2.0 to 2.1 mark. I'm sure it could be a little bit higher if I didn't care so much about the objective. I'm a very, very objective-based and driven player. Trey Pontius asks, do you think we'll be able to pause and save our game in the middle of a strike or raid, then go back and finish it later, since they will sometimes take hours to complete? For the strikes, no, because those are intentionally supposed to be short. So I think, they're supposed to be 20 to 30 minutes. So for strikes, no, but for raids, I think it's possible, yes. Here's how it works in MMOs. You have trash mobs, aka regular enemies, before a boss. Then there's the boss. You kill the raid boss. It'll stay dead until the raid resets, which is typically every week. So all those trash mobs before the boss and the boss will stay dead. So basically every boss that you kill is a checkpoint for your raid. I imagine Destiny will feature this kind of system as well. It would be very cruel to make people complete a raid from start to finish in one sitting. But it's not confirmed, but I think very likely. Michael Johnson asks, Datto, what are your top 5 favorite bands and artists? Five Finger Death Punch is my number 1 right now, for sure. Pantera, Iron Maiden, Avenged Sevenfold, and probably Metallica round out the top 5. Bullet for My Valentine, In Flames, Judas Priest, Trivium, Between the Buried and Me, all honorable mention, and I'm sure there's a few that could be listed as well. Disco King asks, how long has Destiny been in development, and was it the good kind or development hell? Supposedly, development started for Destiny as early as 2007. I do not believe Destiny has been under any sort of development hell. I don't know if it's really been smooth sailing the whole time. I'm sure there were enough, there were some rough patches, like with most projects, but I don't think it's ever gotten to a hellish level. But then again, I've never worked at Bungie, nor am I a developer, so I'm maybe not the best person to ask this question. Word to your mother. If dolphin fins were made of Wolverine metal, do you think that Stacy would stop walking her dog at the museum every Sunday? Probably. The museum's closed on Sunday anyway. She's probably just casing the joint to rob it. Patricia Hutton asks, have you heard of any weapon in Destiny powerful enough to take down a ship? I haven't, but who knows? Maybe we'll see something. But as of right now, no. Flippin' Epic Guy asks, what's the funniest review you've seen on Netflix? I actually don't have Netflix, but I can give you my funniest Steam review that I've ever seen, and it was for DayZ, and I believe it was just Getting Shot for Beans, the video game. I thought that was hilarious at the time. Randy Hamblin. I was wondering if you had heard anything about the wildlife in Destiny. Space Tiger. Oh man, that's an old one. That is an old joke I made. I have not heard anything about Destiny wildlife at all. That's it. Haven't heard anything. Thomas Donovan. You mentioned in the raid video that you mentioned in the raid video some very unique boss mechanics, such as phases, aggro, CC, etc. What mechanics from past games and bosses would you like to see in the game? I'm still recording. I mentioned a couple of mechanics in the raid video that I'd like to see, but the ones I'd like to see the most are either ones where the group needs to move as one big unit, or ones where everyone is doing something really specific in order to complete a bigger puzzle. D-Barade You asked a lot of questions, and I feel bad, but you asked a lot of questions that no one has the answer to right now. Most of your questions don't have an answer. What do we know about the mesh network, or the network mesh system? Will this mean a better experience for us in Australia, where we probably won't get a dedicated server? Besides the small mentioning of the network mesh system in Game Informer's series of articles, I don't know exactly how it'll work. It sounds like everyone's console has the potential to be used as a small server itself, so you're only connecting to servers, aka people around you, but I could be completely wrong on that. I'm not really sure. How big are the maps in Destiny in real-world units like kilometers? I have no idea. For the record, I haven't played Reach either. I have absolutely no idea in terms of real-world measurements. Do we have any idea of what the puzzles in the raids will be like? Raids have not been discussed in any way by Bungie. I have no idea. Do you know anything about the public alpha? The public alpha is for the employees of Bungie and presumably their friends and family. It's not going to be a widespread thing. There will also be an NDA on it, so unless someone decides to leak something, we are not going to learn anything from the alpha. Mage Inquisitor asks, will Destiny have a rank system like Halo did? We will probably find out more about this at E3. I don't know right now. And finally, Mo Jones asks, what's your thoughts on swords in Destiny? I have an entire video that goes over this topic. I am personally not a big fan of having melee weapons in a first-person shooter, but I know a lot of other people like melee weapons, so I would recommend go checking out that video. There's a big discussion, tons of comments, and all that kind of stuff. So those are all the questions. How long do we go? 49 goddamn minutes. Holy crap. So if I did end up missing any of the questions, like you Splendid's question, is it Dalto or Datto? It's Datto. Just yell at me and I will answer them right now in the comments. Thank you all so much for the questions. I didn't think this was going to be nearly as big as it was, so thank you, thank you, thank you. It's really been an interesting year for me on YouTube. I've met a lot of people, I've made a lot of friends, and I've went from being the guy who sat in the Destiny booth line for 2.5 hours last year to a guy who's going to be working at the booth itself this year. So, I really hope this continues into the future. I hope you guys are going to stick with me for however long I'm able to do this. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys at E3.